Stylish new merch along with bundles have just dropped at the Pokemon Center. Additional details regarding Pokemon Champions has just been revealed, and a gem-packed Pokemon Presents including news about the World Championships as well as Generation 10's official reveal. So let's hop right into it with some of that latest Pokemon news. First off, I do want to jump right into the new cards that have been revealed for Ninja Spinner, which is the Japanese set releasing on March 13th. These cards include all 4 Deoxys forms, as well as Ampharos and Keldeo. And of course, Ninja Spinner will be our May set, Chaos Rising featuring Greninja, and it currently has a release date set for May 22nd. However, it should be noted that the pre-order window is going to be starting real soon, and that is likely going to be between the dates of March 5th and March 16th on the Pokemon Center. And the reasoning why I am fairly certain that that is going to happen is based off of previous release dates. For the most part, with the exceptions of Pokemon 151 as well as Destined Rivals and Ascended Heroes, there has been a pre-order release on the Pokemon Center around 70 to 78 days prior to the set's release. For 151, it was 101 days prior, and for Destined Rivals and Ascended Heroes, it was 67 days prior. Pun intended or unintended, up to you. But I do want to point out that the drop is unlikely to happen on the Saturday or Sunday in between the dates, but it is sometime between March 5th and March 16th that the pre-order is going to likely drop. If it doesn't, feel free to come get me in the comments, but that is usually how it's been unless Pokemon wants to switch it up. Anyways, I do also want to point out that the retail pre-orders should also be starting real soon. While there's no specific date on that, as they like to switch it up, might be before Pokemon Center, might be after, but we'll have to wait and see. But those should be coming up real soon as well for the Chaos Rising set. Let's go ahead and move on to the next piece of news though, heading on over to Japan, where we've got the brand new Mega EX starter decks that have just been revealed, featuring the EX cards of Eevee, Zoroark, and Meowscarada. They will be releasing on July 31st with a price tag of 1,800 yen per deck box. Now last year, this EX starter deck was released featuring an illustration rare and Pokemon EX, which of course was the Ethan and Marnie boxes. Now the Marnie box featured the Morpeko illustration rare and the Grimmsnarl EX, while the Ethan box featured the Beldum illustration rare and the Metagross EX card. Heading over to the Pokemon Pocket game, we have the brand new set Paldean Wonders, which I said last week was right on the way, and now it's now available to play, or to collect, I should say, in the Pokemon Pocket game. This set features art cards of various Generation 9 Pokemon such as Meowscarada, Fuecoco, Armarouge, Mousehold, and Gimmick. Additionally, there are a number of shiny full art cards that you can collect as well, along with a number of full art trainer cards, so make sure you look out for those, and best of luck on your pulls in the game. I also do want to mention one thing that I did mention last week regarding the Paldean Wonder set is that Mousehold, which is, I said, was being reused from the regular TCG, is now the only, and now currently in Paldean Wonder set, the only card to have an art card both in the regular TCG as well as Pokemon Pocket. Now, I do want to go ahead and close out the latest Pokemon news segment with the Pokemon World Championships, which this is a little bit of going into what Pokemon Presents did reveal on Pokemon Day, which the 2026 championships in San Francisco are now growing closer, and the official artwork has now been revealed. And along with that is the registration, which will be opening on April 2nd with the ability to attend Worlds, as well as the brand new Pokemon XP, or also known as Pokemon Experience. Now let's head on over to the next segment with the latest Pokemon Center drops. Oh, sorry about that. I was just counting my shillings over here. Let's get on to those Pokemon Center drops. I want to start off with the brand new Jimmy Paul collaboration merch, which consists of shirts, pants, jackets, hoodies, hats, and bags featuring Pokemon such as Pikachu, Eevee, Electabuzz, Gengar, Mew, and Mewtwo. Please, for the love of God, Jimmy Paul, please, or anybody at all, please release more Scyther and Scizor merch. I need it, please. Anyways, though, at least, you know, for you other fans out there that do like the Pokemon I just named, which obviously we know it needs to be more Scyther and Scizor merch, but anyways, the prices of that merch ranges between $38.99 and $299.99 USD. I know that's a really steep price range, but there's a range of different products there, so feel free to head on over to the Pokemon Center website and see for yourself what those products are, and hey, before you know it, you might be buying the whole line. Going over to another collaboration that's got some brand new items released is the new necklace pendants by King Ice, which has dropped, featuring Pokemon such as Sableye, Jigglypuff, Pikachu, and Charizard. These range from $179.99 to $199.99 USD, a little bit closer range there. And all these products, though, they seem very premium to me, so I'd say it's worthwhile. Additionally, though, alongside those Pokemon pendants are some pendants of Pokeballs, such as the Great Ball, Ultra Ball, Master Ball, and of course, the Luxury Ball. Considering how stylish they all look, the only thing more stylish to be added would be a certain red bug metal type Pokemon, but enough of that. You know, I wonder what that would look like. But anyways, these Pokeballs can be purchased for $79.99 USD each. Now, I do want to go ahead and mention the brand new Squishmallows that are now in the Pokemon Center, at least last time I checked, which are the new Pokemon Center stamped Slowpoke and Growlithe 12-inch Squishmallows, which are available for $29.99 USD each. And as of late last week, for anybody that did attempt to go for it, or maybe you didn't, because it was a lot of people trying to get on the site for it, but there were a bunch of bundles that Pokemon dropped, which unfortunately did sell out right away. But showing up on the screen here should be some or all, or at least, you know, some level of the bundles that were available, which unfortunately, I think it was within like an hour or two, they were no longer available. I personally wanted to get the bundle of the Paradox Rift ETBs, as well as at least just one prismatic figure collection, because I have been hunting that for quite a while and I've been unable to get my hands on it. But, you know, there's always another time in the future, you know, ebay.com, who knows. I do want to go ahead and also bring up a couple other items that happened, that dropped, I should say, around the time of Pokemon Presents on Friday. This includes the new opening scene merch, which I briefly mentioned in last week's news segment. And the merch that dropped consists of card sleeves, a pin, deck box, mug, playmat, hat, t-shirt, sweatshirt, and hoodie, all of which feature the battle between Gengar and Nidorino. Personally, I picked up the pin, sleeves, and playmat, so I may be able to show those off once they arrive, although I'm also leaning towards the hat as well. I do want to add that these products range between $7.99 to upwards of $59.99. And finally, I do want to bring up a product that Pokemon dropped following the Pokemon Presents, which is the Gameboy inspired Jukebox featuring Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue game music collection. The purchase includes 45 cartridges featuring songs and sounds from the original games, and after seeing the announcement, it did lead me to listen through the soundtrack, because it's been quite a while and I grew up playing Fire Red. But I was, you know, listening to the different tracks and I was just reminiscing about the golden days of Pokemon, and then it hit me. The days of me getting to becoming a senior citizen are closer than ever before, and I'm growing older by the day. So, you know, we are in Gen 9. It's been quite a while. Maybe Gen 10 went around the corner. Let's find out in the next segment though. But it was really great to be able to go back and reminisce on all that. But of course, that product sold out right away as well. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that. Hopefully you were able to if you were going for it though. But anyway, let's get on to the next segment, which is a little bit of a new one here. And I was gonna open one pack, but let's go ahead and open two packs here. I got Destined Rivals and I've got Surging Sparks. So let's head on down to the table here. Let's start out with the Surging Sparks. Let's do that. Now, of course, in this set, I am yet to hit that Pikachu. And again, I have not actually had the best of pull luck here. Go ahead and feel free to guess that energy, which I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it is a Steel. And we got a Fire energy there. Let's go ahead. We got Citadel, Glimmet, Magnemite, Pansear, Surfer, Appleton, Iron Bundle, Dedenne, the Apple in reverse with the Terrapagos Hollow, so we don't have a hit in that. Let's go ahead and open that second pack in celebration of Pokemon Day and the 30th anniversary. Destined Rivals, I'm still chasing that Mewtwo, as well as the Cynthia's Garchomp. Actually, I think I'm chasing most of the chases still, although I am a good ways into trying to master set. Go ahead and say this is probably a Water energy. We got the Dark, got the Ethan's Pichu, Misty's Lapras, Primates, Diplin, Team Rocket's Watchtower, Shaman, Ethan's Adventure. We got the Purple Pass Reverse, Skarmory Reverse, and a Team Rocket Spite Off, so no hits there. But we are still in a really good mood for the 30th. Let's go ahead and head on to the final segment, which is, I have it right here. Ah, yes, the Pokemon Presents Recap, and it's a lot to go through, so let's get into it. All right, everyone, it's time for the final segment of this week's Card Arena Weekly with a recap of Pokemon Presents. First off, Pokemon Trainer Red, who is the original trainer in Pokemon Red and Blue, will be making his appearance in the Masters EX mobile game in the near future. Furthermore, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness will be arriving in the GameCube library for Switch 2 in March of 2026. That's right around the corner. For those of you that want to play this game, don't worry, it's coming real soon, and you don't have to worry about trying to find a GameCube if you don't have one, and play it on your Switch 2, assuming you have one, of course. Now, a game that I have been excited for a year, whenever it first started getting leaked, whenever it was, but Pokemon Champions, which was first revealed a year ago during the Pokemon Presents for the 29th anniversary of Pokemon, has now received an official release date of April of this year. So that is also right around the corner, and I'm looking forward to this because I used to play Pokemon Battle Revolution back in the day on the Nintendo Wii, and it was a lot of fun, and I feel like this is a great successor to that game. And I know that people say it was either Stadium or Coliseum, apologies if I'm getting it wrong, but you know, the Battle Revolution is what I grew up with, and that's where I consider it to be a successor of that. I know some people may forget the Battle Revolution existed, but that is my childhood. Of course, along with some of the other mainline games such as Fire Red, Diamond, Platinum, Black, we get the point. But anyways, it was also previously announced that this game will be replacing the mainline games for VGC Play, and that will begin with Worlds in San Francisco for 2026. Now, as of Friday, Pokemon has kicked off new events for every mobile game, including Pokemon Go, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Unite, and Pokemon Cafe Remix. So feel free to hop into those games and check out what there is to offer. And then additionally, Pokopia footage was revealed, showcasing additional scenery and gameplay, including a new DJ Rotom form, which honestly should be in the new game, or at least should be a new form of Rotom outside of just that, because it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Now, one thing that is now available in or on the Switch consoles is Fire Red and Leaf Green, and they do have the compatibility to transfer to newer games such as Pokemon Champions and Scarlet and Violet through Pokemon Home. Now, finally, this is probably the largest news of all. Generation 10, which, you know, we've been waiting and waiting, has finally officially been revealed, and in the reveal trailer that Pokemon blessed us with during Pokemon Presents at the very end, showcased some of the scenery, new trainers, and above all, the brand new starters featuring a dog, a bird, and a gecko. But anyways, the bird is a grass type bean chick named Brout. The fire type dog is called Pombon, resembling a Pomeranian puppy, and the water type gecko is named Gekwa, which is a water type resembling a water gecko. I totally said water type there twice, didn't I? Well, no, it's a dual water type. But anyways, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know which starter I'm gonna pick yet. Usually I pick a fire starter, although Oshawott has a place in my heart for Gen 5. But, you know, let me know in the comments who you would pick for your starter on the upcoming Gen 10 game. I also, well, actually, that's a little bit later on, so let's actually get into this first. Additionally, there are two new forms of Pikachu, which includes Mr. Wendychew and Mrs. Wavychew, which will appear in the games. Not too sure if it's going to be one or the other, or maybe you get both in both, who knows? But one thing's for sure is that for the boy and girl trainer, their outfits will depend on which game you play. Now, one other thing I want to point out is in the logo, you can see a new symbol, which is likely referencing the new battle gimmick for Generation 10, as seen in previous generation game logos. The symbol within the name tends to represent the battle gimmick for that generation, notably X and Y and Sun and Moon. For Sword and Shield, it's actually the Galar League symbol, but at least for X and Y and Sun and Moon, X and Y, it has sort of that Mega Stone, and then I know for a fact on Sun and Moon, it has the Z Power Crystal, or the Z-Move Crystal, or it's one of the two. You know, I'm not perfect here. I do want to point out that Pokemon Winds and Waves, that is the official names of the brand new games coming out next year in 2027. That's right, Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves 2027 release, one more year, but hey, you know, we're enjoying the megas right now, so I mean, what's the rush? And they're going to be releasing simultaneously worldwide, because usually, if I'm not mistaken, Japan usually gets the game first, but this time around, it's going to be all at the same time, or at least as Pokemon says, you know, as of right now. Now, I do want to also wrap it up with one final thing, which is the 30th anniversary set for all you Pokemon TCG fans. And in the teaser trailer that Pokemon did drop somewhere around the beginning of the Pokemon Presents, it showed old cards featuring various designs. I remember seeing Tag Team and a couple others, as well as finishing it off with 3D animations of Mew and Mewtwo. So potentially hinting at the return of various card styles from sets released over the generations. But that pretty much wraps it up. That is everything for this Card Arena Weekly. Make sure you, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the other videos on the channel. Feel free to check out my other channel that I'm getting going, Sky Clashes, with a bunch of gaming content. You can find out various gameplay videos, showcases, and more. But of course, stick around here to see some more openings later this week and beyond. And that's pretty much it for now. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next week on Card Arena Weekly.